Hello, in this video I want to talk to you about a really critical feature of the CDJs, which is the waveform that appears on the screen of the CDJ and the 4 different lines that appear on that waveform and what to do with them, what they mean, and how to use them to your advantage. So without further ado, let me grab the camera and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get into it. First things first, excuse the reflection. There's nothing I can really do about it. It's a very reflective screen. Now, first line is the white line. Now, we kind of all know this one. It's just the line of where the track is actually playing, so you know where the track is. Let me turn the volume down because you don't need the volume for this. The second line is the red line. Now, when it stops, once it's played once and then stopped, the line turns red. Now, the relevance of it turning red is this is the part now where you can put your finger on and scroll to whatever track you want to get to quickly. So if you're ever there in a club and you're like, oh, I need to get to the end of the song quickly, start it, stop it, drag it to the end, press play again, and it'll start playing. Now, on the third line, this is where it gets interesting. If the track is playing and you put your finger on there, it'll show you 16-bar increments from wherever your finger is. Now, you might think, well, it's annoying, my finger's in the way. If you put your finger on the waveform and then scroll up, you can, wherever you are on the screen, continue to scroll through. Now, the interesting thing is this waveform here will also scroll through based on where your finger is. So you can use this if you put it, and by the way, it will snap to phrases. So I'm trying to find the first beat of the drop, of the outro drop here. It'll snap there, and I can see this is 60 bars, this is 32 bars, this is 48 bars. So I might decide after 16 bars of the second or final drop, I want to blend out to my next song, right? So scroll along to there, and it'll snap in place. And you'll obviously see this one as well. And now when you take your finger off, this is when things get really interesting. That green line stays there. And even better, it begins to count down to that point. So the green line that's here, there'll be a little green marker up here that'll tell you how many beats and bars you have until it gets to that point there. Even if it turns it red and then scroll forward here and then press play again, it will continue to count down 6 bars, 5 bars, 4 bars, etc. So that is really brilliant, and that will actually really help you. If you're one of these people, or you don't have time before a DJ gig to go and set markers and stuff, and you know that you blend over the space of about 16 bars, which is what I do, this is great, especially, I'll tell you why this is also useful, not useless, is when sometimes waveforms are deceiving. Do you ever have that, where you think like, oh, I've got a nice amount of the song there, but it's a short song? And it will always stretch. Your song will always stretch this distance. So sometimes you look at it and think you've got ages left of the song, but it's a short song and the white markers were moving a lot quicker. And so this is a great way of going, okay, how long have I got left in the song? So you press play again and I go, whoa, okay, so I've got 64 bars to the end of the song. So if I wanted to, I could start blending out here, right? Now, I can already hear all the keyboard warriors going, well, this is why you should know your phrasing. And yeah, we do know phrasing. That's why I'm moving it specifically to phrase points in the track, 16 bars increments from the first drop. But this is just great in case you just want to drop it there, and then you got your little marker, and you know exactly when you need to do the blending out. It's really, really handy. And then the fourth and final line that you would need to know about is slip mode. So it's red mode at the moment. Let's go back to here and press play. If I hit slip mode, it will now turn yellow. This means whatever I do to this deck, loop it, put my finger on the platter and do a big backspin, it will continue to play back to that point. So for example, if I put my finger on the platter and just stop the track, you'll see now the yellow marker has stopped, indicating that this is slip mode, but the white marker is showing me where the track is continuing, and as soon as I take my hand off this platter, it will snap back to that point. So watch, 3, 2, 1, bang, and it'll snap to there. Now, there's 1,000,001 reasons why you would want to use slip mode. For example, if you had this playing now, you could put it into slip mode, and then it'll bring up different numbers. So now, these are loops. So if I put my finger on this, it will loop a bit of the track. Let's actually turn the volume on so you can actually hear this. Okay, so you can loop a bit of the track. Probably not the best example, but it's good to just add it in to add any kind of interest. It's basically loop roll mode. this. Now, the great thing about it, which you just saw me do as well, is you can put your finger on and tighten the loop, and as you slide it along, it'll tighten the loop like this. And it'll snap back to that place. So you could kind of see how you could potentially use that in a big build. Remember, adding tension to a track as a DJ, there's 3 main things you'll do. One is repetition, which is looping, like that. The second is some sort of rising noise. You can add a riser in or a bit of white noise. And the third way is to remove the bass, specifically before a drop. If you take the bass out just before a drop and then bring it back in, that brings the energy in. So kind of removing the bass also adds tension. You'll notice in a lot of dance tracks, the bass is taken away just before the drop and then all the bass is brought back in. So again, you can see why that would be useful. Or if you wanted to do some scratching, right? And you wanted to, again, I don't see why you'd want to do this, but if you wanted to scratch on the deck that was currently playing, it means you could scratch, and as soon as you take your hand off, it'll jump back to where the track should be. So there we go. Those are the 4 different lines. White for playing, red for when it's paused and being able to move it around. Green is the most useful, being able to see where you are in the track and how long you've got between different points, especially the thing counting down in the top. And then yellow for slip mode. Really cool things. I've never seen a video where it just covers that, so I thought I'd put it together. It's not a long video. Hope you really enjoyed this. If you want to work with me to learn how to produce your own professional dance music in 3 months, I will work with you until you get your music signed to a record label, guaranteed, and you get my personal phone number. Just to give you a quick run through of how this works, because I always talk about this and I don't really go into it in full detail. I work with people on a one-to-one basis over the space of 6 months to get them a record label. I say 6 months, but the truth is I work with you until you get a record label. It's of anybody of any standard. Once you come in my program, I give you simple and easy to following training, which teaches you all of my theories that allows you to start making music really, really quickly. And here's the best bit. Every single time you send me one of your tracks, I will review it within the project you sent me. So I'm looking at the actual project you've created. And the way this works without completely overwhelming you is you want to learn how to make the music you want to make, not the music I want to make. So you'll send in a track, a reference track of what you want your tracks to sound like. And I'll receive it. I'll listen to your track, I'll listen to your reference track, and I'll tell you what your reference track is doing that you're not doing, and I'll close that gap between where you are and where you want to be. This is how I get people making amazing music really quickly. Just imagine every single time you finish a track, you send it to me, and I say, change this within your own project, and close that gap in your knowledge. Just think how quickly you get to your goals. Anyway, that's how it works. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested, apply to work with me, edmcoaching.com, or I'll leave the link below. See you in the next video. Ciao.